Let's check out this classic 1967 Bonneville T120R. This is the same exact frame and engine that they used for road racing, flat tracking, and TT, where they'd run a Grand National Championship. In fact, they won. Actually, hold on, let me grab the jacket. I had the wrong jacket on. We're good now. Zoom in real close right here and read these to me, Ron. What do they say?
Grand National Champion 1967.
That's right.
Grand National Champion 1968.
That's right. That's right.
Daytona 200 champion.
That's right.
And the motorcycle 1998 Hall of Fame.
Amen. This is a Gary Nixon factory Triumph replica race jacket. He was number 9, and he rode this bike to the 1967 Grand National Championship. One very, very similar to this one right here. Cool story about this bike. I had a Triumph Daytona 500 when I was 15 years old. I actually got arrested on it and had to go to juvenile court with my dad, and he gave me the keys back, said don't get caught next time. So I was still riding the thing, and by now I had my license. I was 16 years old and was riding down 384. Guy pulls up next to me. I knew everybody in town that rode bikes. He was an older dude, didn't run in my circle. He pulled up next to me on this bike. I was probably doing 40 miles an hour, drops it 2 gears, and I was like staring at it because it had the big carburetor sticking off the side of it, and this big header on it sounded freaking wicked in the custom front end. It drops it 2 gears and wheelies down the road, 12 o'clock, from like 40 to 60 miles an hour. I was like, holy shit, I'd never seen a Triumph do that. My little 500 certainly wouldn't. So this was a hot rod in the day. I never met the guy. He never stopped. I have no idea what ever became of him. But here we are, literally 45 years later, because I'm 60 now. I'm gonna be 60 in April, and I was like 16. Yeah, so 45 years later, my friend calls me up, who owns one of those self-storage centers, and this was abandoned in there for a long time. The guy had passed away and never claimed it, and they called me up, asked me if I wanted it. And I went down there, and they opened the door, and I was like, holy shit, that's the bike, man. And if you look closely, this thing is bristling with period correct trickery from the front to back. These forks on here are Chariani front forks, and the triple clamps are Arches, ARCES. That was a company that made them for Chariani. They're polished aluminum, killer forks. It has a Bates headlight. You see it's got the sticker on there. And I had the name for the front rim, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. It's a very lightweight front rim and no front fender. And some of the keys to popping wheelies from 30 to 60 miles an hour on a Triumph is having a really light front end. He has these Chariani shocks on the back, extended shocks. Has a larger, I think it's a 16-inch rear rim. The ass end of the bike looks mostly stock. It's got this massive oversized header, the Lady Luck ignition cover. The bike, it has the oversized valve inspection covers. So when it came out of the storage center, it had no carbs on it. It did have the side mounts. And I did recognize the paint job, the gold paint job. So we took it in the shop, we cleaned it, detailed it, steam cleaned it. This is the paint it came to us with. We just added this little Bonneville shop sticker on here. And I had these number 1 650 logos in stock from my Triumph inventory. So we put those on there. And I had these carbs in stock. They're not the proper carbs. I just figured it looked a lot cooler with a set of carbs on it. And you could really see with the side mount. I had never seen a Triumph with that side mount. That's the original header it came with. You know, we polished aluminum on the forks, put some rust preventative paint on the rims because the chrome was shot on it, and put it back together. So it kicks over. It wasn't seized. When it was down in the detail shop, one of our apprentices down there worked with Ronnie and pulled the head off of it and painted the cylinder and the cylinder head and cleaned up and polished the sides of the cases a little bit. But they took it apart to clean it because it had been sitting for 40 years, and Ronnie said the pistons looked good and the bore looked good, but it didn't have a professional. He's a detailer. He didn't get a professional evaluation. It's going to need some wiring. I'd assume the top end you'd want to go through, make sure the valves and everything are good. It's going to need a set of carbs. It needs cables. Like the bike sat for, I don't know how long it sat, to be honest with you. It might have been 30 years. It might have been 20 years. I really don't know. But All the original cycle parts that came with are here. It didn't have a front fender. When I saw it wheeling down the street, the bike blew me away. And I mean, I might forget your name. I might forget what I had for lunch here yesterday, but I'll never forget a motorcycle, especially one that pulls up one next to me and does a 12 o'clock down the street. That was back in the day when people really didn't do that, you know? But big fan of the Triumph racing models. This T120 is the hottest one they had from that era. It does need a full restoration. I'm figuring if we did it, we'd be roughly 100 hours labor to take this down to the frame and redo everything on it and rebuild the motor. And we bill out at $150 an hour, so you're looking at a $15,000 service ticket to plus parts, probably a couple grand in parts. So now I've got a $20,000 motorcycle, and I had a Gary Nixon replica Triumph. If you punch in Gary Nixon Kaplan Triumph 750 or 650, the video will come up. And that bike was like a factory race bike. It was insane. Sold it to a friend in California who still has it to this day. I wish I didn't have to sell it, but you know, we got a lot of overhead here. That bike was fast as hell. This bike could be everything that bike was. We did put a new gold chain on it. The original chain was super ultra crusty, so when Ronnie and Craig were detailing it, he put the chain on there. So it's a beautiful looking bike, but it's not in running order, unfortunately. It's gonna need to be gone through, top to bottom, front to back, but you can see the bones are all there. It's a nice looking machine. It's got a cool history. It was a hot rod in the day. It could very well be resurrected and be wheeling down the street again. If you have any questions about it, give us a call, 860-454-7024. We can ship it anywhere in the country for you. We're going to sell it with a reasonable reserve and leave you some room to invest some sweat equity and build this any way you'd like to. So if you have any questions, call us, 860-454-7024. Like I said, we can ship it anywhere. We also do financing in-house, and we do take trades. So if you want this bike, we'll try to make it easy for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.